You can see it.
Very good. Yeah. Let's just come over here so bring everybody together, please, this way. Okay, I want you just to come closer, please, because I want to explain to you this first part. And a very important thing, you need to remember my name, because once you mention my name, everybody will be helping you, just in case you stay behind, just in case you want some help, because we will be probably on the way back, we will not be as a group together, you see, because it's the same way in, the same way out. My name is Zohair. Everybody in the site, they know me. It's like no hair, Zohair, the easiest way. Now, we want to start the tour of Jerash, and you can see that the ruins of Jerash stretches that far, and we try to cover as much as we can. To start from here, we are talking about the first gate, and this gate is dating back to 129 AD, Roman times. This area was inhabited earlier than that. We found strong evidence that this area was inhabited like 2500 BC, Bronze Ages. And I would say no wonder, because we are talking about the trees and the plants, wild animals to hunt, to collect natural fruits, availability of water, encourage people to live in this area, even shelters, natural caves you can find. But the great inhabitants of Jerash started around the Greek times, and the Greeks were here during the times of Alexander the Great, 332 BC. 332 BC. They were on their way to Persia and to the Far East, and they had to conquer this area, and they established the city of Antioch. They called it Antioch on the Golden River to remember the original Antioch, where they came from. And the river is right here. It's dividing the city into two parts, because Jerash was on both banks of the river. This is why they called it the Golden River. Now, the Romans, when they had to deal with the situation of this area under the hands or the control of the Greeks, they had to fight them over this area, because this area was considered as the breadbasket of the ancient world. Well, someone wanted to give me like a microphone, but I forgot. Now I remember. This is something that she can record everything I say. I hope she won't hold it against me. All right. Now, the Romans wanted to fight the Greeks over this area, because this is considered as part of the breadbasket of the ancient world. We're talking about Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, now Israel, all to be considered as the breadbasket, because we have the wheat, the barley, the corn, all kind of field crops, olives, wine to take from this area, to ship back to Europe. So they wanted their share, and this is why they had to fight the Greeks over this area, and they succeeded in 63 BC. Those are the times of Pompeius, the Roman emperor. And from that time, we know that the Romans lived and occupied the old original Greek ones. And this is why we cannot see much of the Greek ruins, because the Romans built on top. So everything you will see today is dating to the Roman times, and this is mainly 1st century AD and 2nd century AD. Most of the monuments that you will see are dating back this far. We have a couple of monuments outside the walls of the city of Jerash, the Gate of Hadrian and the Hippodrome, which is the horse chariot race place. We will stop by the next one. The Romans, when they came to this area, they faced a problem that the business is in the hands of the Nabateans, the people of Petra. So they wanted to encourage them to come to the north, so they established a coalition of 10 cities. They are called Decapolis. Decapolis. Deca means 10, polis means city. 10 free cities. And the Romans made them to decide locally and to have local councils, which made this idea flourishing faster, quickly, and attracted the business to the north. So the business came to the hands of the Romans, and they started to collect more money from the locals and from the people over here. What you will see today is, as I said, is mainly Roman. Amman, for example, was counted as one of the Decapolis, and it was called Philadelphia, the city brotherly love, from the Greek times and during the Roman times. And then we're talking about Gadara, Pella, Omkes, and then as far as Busra. Busra is in Syria, and it was counted as one of the Decapolis. Now, this gate was built outside the walls of the city to commemorate the visit of the Roman Emperor Hadrianus, 129, because we found the inscription. And this inscription told us exactly when this gate was built and why. As I said, he came from Syria and he came to visit Jerash. Of course, they knew about his visit at least a couple of years or a few years before, because you want to build something like this to commemorate his visit, you know that it is scheduled that he will come over at that time. We didn't finish the whole thing. We've restored like 60% of the gate, but the good thing that we used the original stones, and we still have some of the stones on the right. They are still waiting to be restored on the left side here and on top. We didn't finish the whole thing, but they did the restoration in a very nice way and in a very careful way, because now we are unfortunately facing the problem that Jerash, as I said, is a hidden jewel for Jordan. Nobody knows about Jerash when they come to Jordan, because Jerash is not listed in the World Heritage Sites. We tried twice to list Jerash on the UNESCO list, but because of the restoration, the wrong materials, the wrong way of restoring, Jerash did not make it to be counted as one of the World Heritage Sites. And now we are more careful, and we hope in the future we can list Jerash on that list. I'll give you the chance to take pictures and to move to the next one, which is the Hippodrome and the chariot race place. Yalla, let's go.
سكار جدا يعني No million. Yeah, no million.
وين رايحين انتم؟
You want to race? What's your Arabian like? Go.
Okay, this is here one of the best preserved hippodromes in the whole region. Because in some other parts, like in Lebanon and in Syria, you will see parts of the gates, parts of the seats, but you will not see the whole circle of the hippodrome. And this is a small size one. It is measuring 250 meters long, 55 meters in width, and this one can take 15,000 people. What you can see, those seats, they've restored only few arches, and these arches are holding those seats. But if they continue and finish the rest of the arches, you will get another layer of seats, and this should go all the way around, so you can fit 15,000. It was nearly half of the population of the city of Jerash. Because this is one of these public activities. As they used to say in the old times, bread and circus. When you feed them and you give them the entertainment, they will be easy to control, happy and easy to control. And in the past, they used to have these races whenever they have someone to sponsor these races. It was like some training centers. The one who owns these slaves and these gladiators, he wants to say that mine are the best and the strongest, so I can sell them for the best money. And this is why they were doing these races. And of course, if you remember the movie Ben-Hur, the way how tough and how rough these races are, especially when they go around the corner. They would try all the time to get rid of the, let's say, other chariot riders and try to stop them because they want to win the race. Because when they win the race, it means that they were like a better training center or a better school or a better master. And this is why they used to have colors, like flags that will refer to each training center. We think that they used to pay some kind of a fee or some kind of a betting system, you see, where people will bid for the one who's going to win these races. And we think that they start from these gates and then they will go around for 7 rounds and then they will be able to win the race, and that will be the activity at that time. So it was really an important activity for the people at that time who were coming to something public, something like very important and public, and as I said, it was prepared for half of the population of the city of Jerash. يا شباب الله يخليكم خلاص بكفي لانه ضحكتوهم كثير، لو حدا بده كان وانا بساعدكم ما في مشكله، بس لما يكون ما بدهم خلص الله يسعدك.
What is the name of this racetrack?
No name. It's just called the Hippodrome.
How many meters are racing?
250 meters long, and it's 55 meters in width.
Okay, and this with chariots or riders?
Chariots. Chariot race. Okay? Now we're going, as you can see, we are restoring a little bit of these arches.
Yes.
And we are trying to restore more because we have a lot of these seats available around, and we hope that we can restore more. But Jerash, because it's a big place and we have a lot of these monuments, we need more support. It's not one country. We have several countries who are involved in giving Jordan some money and some expertise to restore and to do the restoration in a better way, in a very careful way now, because we are careful about the materials we use, the colors we use, how much we restore. And modern theories nowadays is not to restore the whole thing, is to restore part of it and leave something for the future generation. We should not finish the whole thing. Okay? So you can take pictures and then we have, sorry? How many?
Very good.
All right. Yalla, let's go. By the way, we used to have a show in Jerash for 45 minutes where they allow people to come and see gladiators and chariot race. And this is like exactly where the Romans sat, and this is exactly what the Romans saw in the same place. But this kind of show has stopped because of COVID. Unfortunately, they can't bring them back, and we hope that they can do next year, because this is a very careful kind of operation where they used to provide a very interesting show for the people with all the information they need about that. And Amman ancient name is Philadelphia. And Philadelphia means brotherly love, the city brotherly love. And Amman was considered as one of the Decapolis. It was counted as one of the Decapolis during that time. Also, Jerash has several gates because the city itself was fortified. We're talking about 6 meters high for walls, 3 meters wide, 100 watching towers sticking out like this and like this one here. And this is of course to provide protection for the city. So the city was protected. Even we know that the Romans were not involved inside the city. They used to provide security outside. And they usually will have their military camps on the east part, which is facing any kind of attack that might come from the Bedouins or from the desert people. And this is how the Romans used it. They used to provide a little security inside, and then they will take their soldiers to their headquarters where they train 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the afternoon, so they don't get soft. They want them to be ready all the time. Yes, ready all the time. So they used to control and get the taxes from here, but they gave everything to be decided local. This is why the city got flourished, as I said. They became very important and they were making a lot of money. Okay? So this gate is called Philadelphia Gate or the South Gate, which means we have the North Gate, and the North Gate is the one that heads towards Damascus. It's called Damascus Gate. And there's a plan over there. If you want to look at the city map, we have only half of the city, while the other half is lost underneath the modern city of Jerash. Okay? Now we're going to go right. Again, I told you, if anybody decided to go back, please let me know, because I will all the time, you won't know this, but I will all the time count and make sure that everybody is following, okay? Yeah. I'm okay to lose like 5%, no more.
Jetzt müssen sie die alle wieder rausmachen.
بعد المطر حشروه 6 ساعات المطار ولو مشان الله عظيم ولا شيء.
The one in Amman?
No, in Rome.
Ooh. First and second century. Okay, can you gather over here, please, this way, everybody? Or the forum. And hippodromes or agoras are known to be square shaped. This one is an oval shaped agora or forum because we think that the Romans enlarged the original one that was built by the Greeks. You remember I told you that the Greeks established the site first, and then the Romans came, and the Romans edited or changed or added their own touch to this place. And if you look carefully to the pavement over there, you can see that the pavement in that corner is different from the pavement over here. The pavement here is cut, dressed in a proper way, while over there it's more rough. It's exactly like the Romans wanted to keep a little mark, say that this is from the Greek time, this is from the Now we think that they enlarged the forum to get seats to face the temple on top. This is the temple of Zeus. And when you say the temple of Zeus, this is the name of the god in the Greek times. Now when the Greeks came here, the Greeks influenced their culture, their language, even their currency on the locals. They used to live among them. So they had to learn the Greek language and they had to deal with the Greek currency or the Greek money. When the Romans came, the Romans didn't bother. So the people kept the name of these previous gods from the Greek times for Roman buildings. It should be called the Temple of Jupiter, because Jupiter is the equivalent of the god in the Roman civilization. Then we think that they included the entrance that go to the corridor street. So they ended with an oval-shaped agora or forum, which is a very active part of the city. All the activities like open markets, big gatherings, big announcements. And we know that we have, or we're supposed to have a sidewalk behind the columns, and then shops. So people used to go under the shade to do shopping or to buy from here. And as I said, this is a very active part of the city. Jerash has two main types of capitals. You can see the capitals for the columns here, they are Ionic. We have an earlier one which is called Doric, and Doric has the knobs for the corners, while this one is like folded, kind of, let's say, papyrus or, yes, and then like scrolls. And then the other one is Corinthian, which is a very popular kind of plant in the Mediterranean region, which is called the acanthus plant. I'll give you the chance to take pictures, and the next one will be climbing from here to the South Theatre, which is the best preserved theatre all over Jordan. Just before we go, I have my friend here, Khalid. He's offering a group photo. Please, Khalid.
Thank you, my friend. Our friends, the offer is a group picture like this one. It's being the size of this beautiful folder came with it, the Hadrian Arch and some monuments of Jordan. And it's no obligation for you to buy it when the picture ready. If you like it, you buy it. If you don't like it, you just leave it. It cost $5 American, $5 US.
Euros? Yeah. No euros.
€5.
They can figure out what it is. But first, sometimes they get it. They need it. For example, look at the cylinders for this hole. Yes. We have the base. We have the top one, it's narrower, so you can tell. And then the middle ones needs to be fixed with a pick.
Yes, yes.
So you can find the groove. So there's like little indications that will tell you that this is a base cylinder, this is the middle cylinder, this is the top cylinder.
So the question, if people whistling to each other, obviously that means things they're telling each other about people coming.
Like come over here, or I have a good group here, let's just...
Bagpipes.
These are not original, these stones.
Yes, because they actually replaced two, this is one of 3 theaters in Jerash. This is the main one and the biggest one, which can take 3,000 people. And 3,000 people is like 1/10 of the original size of the city, which is very common because these theaters will catch the important activities and the important shows and plays. So it's not for public, not for everybody. This is for the ones who can afford to come to this one. We have another one which is further north, and the other one was used for the local council of the city, which is a smaller one where they used to discuss, and they used to have like senators. They used to have people who would represent the public. And then later they added some kind of a upper floor, which is like for observers, for people who will catch these activities or these discussions. And then we have a third theater, which is outside the walls of the city of Jerash, where they had like a couple of huge pools where they think that they used to have some kind of water sports for like 800 people. So we have 3 of these theaters, but this is the best preserved theater all over Jordan. And the theater consists of the main parts. The theater is facing this way, seats behind, and this is because the sun will be here. So when you catch the activity in the late afternoon, you won't be bothered by the sun. And in the late activity, or in the late afternoon, the activity takes place. This part of the theater will be in the shade. So people used to pay more to catch the posh seats, the shady seats, because they are more valuable at that time to be able to enjoy and cool. And when you go inside, you can see that these seats were marked with letters because they were following a ticket system. The orchestra floor is the area where the activity takes place. This is where the shows, the plays, even wrestling, but this is not like Colosseums or amphitheater because this is tiny. So we cannot bring like, let's say, wild animals or tigers. Even we know that the seats are separated from the orchestra floor. Everybody nowadays, they think that orchestra will be for VIPs and the theater will be for the activity. In the old times, it was the opposite. The VIPs or the governors will be seated on the stage. They will be in the shade. Someone will be fanning them to keep them cool, but they are facing the spectators. They're facing the people. And the activity takes place in the orchestra floor. Here, we have the dressing part, and we're supposed to have 2 floors. We're missing one of these floors, which will close and complete the acoustic. The acoustic system in these theaters are great, and they actually planned them and designed them to take the maximum use of the acoustic because this is the loudspeaker system in the old times. And I will point out the central point for the acoustic if you want to try. And by the time you take pictures, the guys will be playing some music for you. Now, the bagpipes, everybody knows that they are Scottish bagpipes. I'm sorry to disappoint you. They are originated in our region, Mesopotamia. And the Romans actually took them, and it was basic kind of goat skin at that time. And then the Romans captured the idea, and they developed the idea into these bagpipes. Now, the bagpipes arrived back to this area during the British mandate, during the British control over this area, because this is part of the Jordan Army music. And now it is still, and those guys are retired from the Jordan Army band, and they're doing this kind of music just to raise a little bit of money for their family. So feel free, if you'd like to give them like $1 or something at the end, you can do that. Now we're going to go inside and show you the whole thing, and then explain to you a little bit more. Anybody, this way, anybody would like to buy one of these things? They have these semi-precious stones, and they have really good deals. They give like very special prices.
Would you like to see some local project handmade craft?
ويلكم امريكا.
والله هم كثير من اكثر من محل، اكثر من مختلف.
ويلكم.
شكرا
يا حبيبي. يا حبيبي على رزقك جبريل.
عشان شرحت برا.
حبيبي الله يرضى عليك.
So I was involved.
لا يا سيدي الله يسعدك.
I was involved at the opening of the most up-to-date stadium in the world, the Allianz Stadium in Sydney, and I was involved with the opening of it. So coming to this so you want to come on?
This is actually one of the best preserved in the old times.
Yeah.
Okay, as you can see, these are the main parts of the theater I've mentioned for you. The seats, the orchestra floor, the stage, and the dressing places. We're missing a second floor on top of this one, which will close and complete the acoustic. And we have the central point right there where my friend is standing. If you stand in that point and start talking, you can feel it coming from all directions. Now these seats, if you go closer, you can see that they are marked with letters because they were following a ticket system. We have the main entrances and exits to be here for the lower part. We have some side exits on the top part. And the side exits are called vomitoriums. Vomitoriums is to describe the way the theater throw them out after the activity finished. They are called vomitoriums. And this is just to make things easier for the people on the second floor to get in and out without any problem. Now I will give you the chance to go around to take pictures and to listen to this music we're going to play. We have the inscription in that corner which is dating the theater to 91 AD Roman time. And it is talking about the local governor of Jerash selling a precious statue he had to raise money for 2 lines of seats, 2 rows of seats for that. A chance to take pictures and to listen to the music, and then we will gather and meet this way to continue to the Cardo Street, okay? Please, يلا يا معلمين. يلا in this intact. chariots and
It shows the different stones and different horses and different ones.
So they had 4x4 chariots to get down this street?
To be uneven like this, I would say yes, they need 4x4, but it should be like this. With earthquakes, the stones shifted and moved like this, but it used to be like this. Leveled and flat like this.
Dating here,
Sorry?
the date of this, how far?
Would be much more even.
Yeah, but how far back in the census?
Maximus is the main street of the city, and Cardo means the heart of the city or the main street of the city, and this is where the word cardiologist came from. Because it's the heart of the city or the main street of the city. This part was open. It was not covered. Columns to buildings in the back was covered as a sidewalk, and here it was covered as a sidewalk. Of course the sidewalk is not clear here because they did not excavate. But people used to go under the shade and they can stop by these shops without any problem. No rain, no sun. Here, if you look carefully, you can see that the pavement was put in a diagonal way, so the wheels of the chariots will not hit the same line at the same time, which will make it tick, 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 tick all the time. So it will make it a bit comfortable. Even it was uneven now, or it should be more even in the past, but they were thinking metal wheels means that they will make a lot of sound, and this is why they made them easier. They put the pavement in a diagonal way. If you look in the middle, you will see these original manholes, because we have a drainage system. They used to collect rainwater even during the rainy season, and they used to collect the water into some huge aqueducts, and the water will be taken into certain areas where the water will be collected. Even we have a river, but they need to collect as much as they can also during the rainy season. Okay? Now, if you look carefully, sometimes you will see the chariot tracks. And the chariot tracks are clear here, but they also gave us the indication that the Romans used to drive on the left side of the street, because when they come from the quarries, the wheels tracks are deeper because they're carrying the stones. So they know, and they figured out the width of the chariots exactly, and they know that they used to drive on the left side. All right, this is why the English copied. Yes, please.
When there've been earthquakes that have disrupted,
Only an hour and a half, 2 hours drive. Very close. We are only half an hour from the Syrian border. Then it was moved all the way to Baghdad during the Abbasid times. Umayyad first, Damascus, Abbasid to Baghdad. So the caravans were going along the desert. And so they didn't bother about restoring the city because the city was destroyed to a big level, and this is why it was abandoned. Nearly it was abandoned, and that affected the whole region, because these Decapolis, all of them were affected, because this earthquake we talk about would affect Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, altogether. It's because we are on the side of an active rift, which is called the Rift Valley. Geologists expect that this area will be hit by a major earthquake every 400 to 500 years. And they know because we have some pressure points building up, and sometimes we have slight earthquakes to ease the pressure. Sometimes the pressure is bigger. For example, geologists say that the Red Sea is a baby ocean, because the Red Sea is a long, thin sea. And this is because this plate, we call it the Arabian plate, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, is moving from the south to the north, which means that the Gulf area is sealing, the Red Sea is expanding. And then the other one, which is called the Palestinian plate, is moving the other direction. So they are going like this. And there is a lot of movement here. But you shouldn't worry, it's not happening in the next few days. So it's all right.
thank you.
And the columns are still standing upright.
Das heißt, wir kriegen kein Erdbeben die nächsten 3 Tage.
No, it's just a cylinder, and it's the weight. They are very good. For example, how they used to do the ring. This is like a ring, and you put the ring, and then you lower the ring. So you will get a very good cylinder just by doing a metal ring. We're going to go this way for a sidewalk, and I want to show you the shops on the side. This way. Now we're going to, 5 blocks this way, now we're going to have a quick game of hide and seek. Why not? Because this is a big place, and I
Now we're going to
show you only part of it just to give you an indication and to give you an impression of the size and the ruins condition.
And these stones are all
Limestone,
yes, limestone.
quarried here, yes.
All rooted.
Yes, all quarried in this area. Attention, you will see some columns to be higher than the rest. 1, 2, 3. It's all the time 4 columns higher than the rest. And this is a clear indication that there is something behind. And this is exactly what we did. We found 2 groups of columns higher, and we found a third one. So we decided to excavate here in 1985, very recent. And because of the height of the columns, we found a side market. And this side market was decorated in a very nice way, with a fountain in the middle and a number of shops. Now we don't know what kind of shops they used to do, except one, because we found the table for the butcher. It was decorated in a very nice, interesting way, and it is the one to the left corner when you walk in. This is the width of the sidewalk, and it should be covered with wood. And these are the shops all along the side, and the corridor street will be this way. This is the sidewalk for the corridor street, for the main street. And I want to give you the chance to go inside, see this market. You will notice that the columns are whiter. They are not as dark as these because they are exposed recently. They are uncovered recently, and they had to restore them after we dug down like 5 meters of rubble and debris and sand to clear this side day market. And you can see also 2 pieces of limestone for doors here. No problem. As you can see, this is a nice little side market, a fountain here, which means that they used to have a water tank much higher, so you get the pressure to work this fountain. And this part was not covered. Columns, we have a tiny little sidewalk, so the people will pass by the shops all around in the shade. The only thing that I want you to see, to go to the corner where you can see the table for the butcher, which is the one over there. You can see the way they decorated the lion heads and the ghost heads for the table for the butcher. You'll see also tiny holes to the walls, which is maybe for marble attached to decorate the whole thing. It will be easier to clean. So you'll be hanging the meat and you'll clean the whole thing. So you'll see tiny holes that go over there to attach marble, decorate the whole thing.
Just a moment.
Nice day market, side market. As I said, and we're going to cover this one only.
Ja, das geht schon. No problem. But this big man always go slow. Maybe he was eating. Lions, I think.
This is a good quality of limestone, and it makes this sound because we have a little piece of wood to separate the 2 of them, and it makes this great sound, which means that this is a very solid piece of limestone. And actually in the past they used to discover the quality of the stone because they want a piece of stone without cracks. And this is how they used to tell because of the sound.
Amazing.
Don't take too long, let me show you more, okay? Yalla yalla. This is a new excavation actually by a Danish team. They worked on this mosque.
Cornices, yes.
Version of it, don't we?
This is a logic.
Coding, that was what I was thinking.
Why all presidential shops?
Where do people live?
الله يسعدك. تسلم.
كيف حالك؟ لا الصور معي ورجيتهم وقلت لهم المسألة
Over here, please, everybody. Now I just want to point out the size of the city, and you need to excavate the rest of it over here. Now this is here the main crossroads, and we have the main street which is called Cardo Maximus. We have the side streets that cross with this one which is called the Decimanus Street, and all the way to the gates and to the walls of the city we have another gate, and this gate leads to another city of the Decapolis called Pella. Every street ends with a gate, so this is the gate of Pella. The other one further north is the gate of Amphitheatre or Gadara, which is another city of the Decapolis.
This was Mundus here, the center where it was crossed. Cardo e Decumano.
Yes.
The Greeks thought that is a way to hell.
Well, we're saying that this is the crossroads. The Romans no. The Romans
But
no.
maybe a crossroad is for anybody, somebody is the way to hell.
Now, we want to give you like 20-25 minutes maximum, half hour, to explore more this way for the ones who would like to do that, and then give yourselves another 25 minutes to walk all the way back to where we started. So I'm going to time it to 4:30. The bus will leave. Means that I leave you behind if you're not there 4:30. No, but you need to. Now let's synchronize. It is 20 minutes to 4. 20 minutes to 4. 4:30 by the bus. And the bus is not in the corner where he dropped us. He's in the back. He's in the back of the building, in the main parking. We came into the entrance and the buses are waiting in the back area, okay? So I'm expecting all of you to be back for 4:30. We need 1 hour to drive all the way back to Amman, and then I will find out if anyone needs to be dropped by Crown Plaza or near to the two hotels, Four Seasons and the other one next door. So you will be dropped in that corner. If you want to buy this collection of reconstructed plans of Jerash, you can buy them here for 2 dinars.
2 dinar, my friend. Yeah,
All right, I'll see you by the visitor center.
just 2 dinar, yeah, please. Thank you. This is nice. Look at this one. This is.
So you're from Sydney?
Yeah.
Oh, look, you can